Hey guys, just want to do a quick appreciation to um, a member of our group that's lost a parent, and that's Higgy Pop. Uh, his mother passed away, and I just wanted to give a nice shout out to Mama Higgs and to thank her for raising our boy Higgy, and she's a truly in the spirit of the comic book hobby that we love. And Hickey brought her along for some pretty cool videos, and she even she even got to hear her son belt out a couple opera like riga mortis, and my brother and I thought that was really cool. So yeah, just the deepest condolences, and get on to the video. But yeah, Higgy Pop Comics, and without Mama Higgs, we wouldn't have Higgy. So thank you so much. All right, I've been dying to try to set something up. Still a little rusty on shooting with the books in front of the camera, so bear with me. I do want to just quickly share some cards. I've kind of gotten back into the hobby of collecting cards. I can't afford a nice 89 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. in a high grade, but I can still afford some pretty cool non-sports cards. This is from the 95 Spawn set. I have to do an acknowledgement to Jacob, who's pointed out these 95 Spawn cards to me with the, they got the cinematic widescreen, but that's a Jim Lee Angela. Here is Angela by J. Scott Campbell. Look at how small Spawn's shoulders are. Not inked by J. Scott's usual inker at that time, Garner, but this is by They in 94. Oy vey. Spawn versus Angela. Here is we already did the Jim Lee. So this is the one that Jacob reminded me of. This is Sam Kieth of The Violator. Really nice pastels right there by Sam. Violator in the clown form. Really cool. Love this card. Thanks for reminding me of this card, Jacob. Appreciate it, man. Sorry about the sway of the camera. Let's see if I can steady that a little bit. It's going to be a little bit rocky. But here's some nice Vampirella cards with the Premier Vampirella model. Here's a nice Madman and Vampirella card by Allred. I just bought the whole set of these Vampirella cards. I showed the Sam Kieth one last time, but here's a is that Joe Chiodo? Maybe not. Let me see. Who's Michael Plug? Okay. What do we have here? It's a nice. Oh, Mike Deodato. Of course. Mike Deodato would have a nice looking card. Ooh. Dave Gibbons. Martha Washington goes to war fame. Dave Gibbons. Looks a little bit like Silk Spectre, don't you think? And some more of your best Vampirella model of the time. So, yeah, I shared these on Instagram, but I know not everyone goes on Instagram, so I just wanted to go through those real quick. I do have some comics to share, but unfortunately, excuse me. Okay, the show must go on. We will persevere. I wanted to do like some nice flip throughs, but until I get the right setup, we'll just keep on rocking. There's a shortage of Topo Chico. I haven't been able to get the mineral water bottles, so we've been getting the Sabores, but oh man, I missed them glass bottles. Anyway, the world will persevere. It's a nice Sam Kieth Ghost Rider cover I'd never seen. This is Amazing Heroes 195 from October of 91. So right in that little time he was doing the Marvel Comics Presents. So I'd never seen this before. And it looks like he even did some acrylic paints on it. Really cool. Love his Ghost Rider. Let me see here. Let me kind of get these ready. I didn't do my due diligence of kind of getting these in an order like a wise man might do. But let me just get these right here. I got these Norm Brayfogle books, and I've been really trying to like work on my Norm Brayfogle stuff. He along with Jim Aparo were just like 80s, 90s Batman to me. But this is from his book Metaphysique, and this started off with Eclipse Comics, and it kind of went on into Bravura by Malibu. But he did some really nice, super quality, kind of painterly covers. Let me see if I can pivot down. Hold that. See if we can just flip through this a little bit, because it starts off with this really interesting kind of style of, I don't even know what he's using. It looks almost like chalk, right? But okay, this one, the Eclipse, starts with like a nice like ink wash or something, and sort of like, it looks like it's almost starting at the beginning of time. But see what this is all about. So you get this whole first chapter all done with this watercolor or something, and then it goes into his pen and ink stuff, which is really cool. This is like the stuff that I know him by. But so yeah, it's written by Norm. Usually these guys will have an editor, but I think he went, oh yeah, of course you need an editor. No matter how brilliant you are, a lot of times you'll turn something in and it'll make perfect sense to the mind that conceived it, but you need that third eye perspective of someone a little bit more neutral, and to sort of say, you got something here, but you might want to clear up a couple of things. So that's where a good editor comes in. You don't want to hold the person back. Like, it's just like when telling a good joke. If you don't take the listener somewhere, you didn't take them on that voyage. But if you get them halfway out there, halfway into your joke, and you suddenly lose track of what you're even saying, you sort of leave the listener hanging. So it's that balance. You want to take them somewhere, but you don't want to take them too far onto uncharted territory. And that's kind of what I think a good editor does. Doesn't tell you to reel it in, just kind of tells you in like, okay, the rules of decent storytelling might suggest that you add something here for clarity. So I'm glad that Norm had that. Here's Metaphysique issue 2. Look at that. This guy have it or what? The motion. Look at just these greens and blues. And streak over with some like burnt sienna, what have you. Aquamarines. What is... Huh. I think that's pastel. Like, remember when you were a kid, like, you would try to, when you were doing your crayons, and you would get, like, an effect like that, you'd want to keep scrubbing over it until it was, like, completely that color. But then you get a little bit older and you realize, oh, kind of the good thing about art is subtlety and a little gradients. So this is called Metaphysique from Bravura, Norm Breyfogels, and this is session 1. And I like Malibu comics. You know, I'll even tell you I like Ultraverse comics. You know, I have no problem with that. I love Ultraverse, but I know a lot of people think it's a little soft. But Bravura, a subdivision of Malibu, was doing like these really cool, like creator propelled comic books, like Breed by Starlin. I think Starjammers, Simonson, he did some of that with Bravura. Howard Chaykin had like he had something with Bravura. I can't remember exactly what it was, but you get what I'm saying. They were taking like some of these kind of big names and making sure that they had a little home for their books. And the cool thing about it is a lot of these guys were illustrators first and foremost. Not to say that Starlin wasn't a great storyteller, he still is, but a lot of these guys you would know mostly as being the artist. So to put them in the helm as a writer was really cool. Here's season 2, Norm Breyfogel's Metaphysique. Look at this guy. Or would you rather be a fish? Little Mermaid. 95. Cool. Here's issue 3. The Root of All Evil. Interesting. I'll have to get back to you on what this is all about. I think even Dan Brereton, who's a really good illustrator, I think he had a book called like The Nocturnals. So these are definitely like dollar books, but finding them all together is kind of the tricky thing. Kind of a Judge Dredd-ish thing going on. Judge Dreadful. Okay. Try to get this camera settled in. I'm liking I think we're getting a pretty good read off of these images though, which is kind of exciting. Season 5 of Metaphysique. Pure Breyfogle magic. Also from 95, right? Issue 6. That's as high up as I have, so... Oh yeah, 6 is 6. So even back then it would cost you $3 times 6. So after bag and boards and tax, you'd be looking at about $20. Not including the Eclipse run. But looks like he got into some high ideas. Like, maybe he read some Alan Moore, you know, something like that. Or, I don't know, maybe read, like, Dante's Inferno. Maybe he was just classically educated. I'm going to crack this bad boy and came dented. And I'll get back to this. All right. Just a really nice Sam Kieth cover. I don't have this Venom run because... to tell you the truth, I never went for it because he didn't illustrate it. But these days, I'm just... if I see a great Kieth cover I don't have, and it's, you know, for a few bucks, I like to get it. Yeah, look at that. I'm really, really liking the mixed media on some of these things I picked up. Just demonstrating that anything that'll make a mark, give a shot, Look at them teeth. This guy, he wasn't afraid to use every tool at the disposal. I kind of like this right here. Batman Secrets. Cool Joker cover. I ordered the trade to this. I got this bad habit of I keep buying books off of Amazon that aren't shipped by Amazon, so I'm basically buying from private sellers. SELLERS. And sometimes they make you wait because Amazon doesn't police the way eBay does. Amazon is it's a cool place to find stuff you can't locate on eBay, but like I said, you are kind of on your own. It does a pretty nice Joker here. Reminds me of the illustration of the Joker from The Dark Knight Returns, right before Mr. J goes on that kind of Letterman show, and he's in the white suit with like the heels, the heeled boots, and he's just kind of surveying the audience. So, I believe this went $5. My brother asked me what the last thing that we know of that Sam got to draw, and I didn't know the answer to that. I guess probably only his wife would know that. But I really like these illustrations. I think some of these kind of come back in the form of a cover. I think Sam was really inspired by Dave McKean's work on Arkham Asylum with some of this stuff. So, yeah, this is just book one. Thought I'd check it out. Just keep right on going, I guess. Even we hit that 20-minute mark-ish really fast. Really fast. What can you do, though? Time goes, man. Time flies. Especially talking about comics. I really like this artist. Well, actually, it's two artists. Juri Hiru is two artists. Juri and Hiru. And they're a couple of gals, and they do these really great arts. And they drew that whole Gwenpool run, like all 25 issues. And this is just really nice. What is this exactly? Damn, I don't even know. Some Marvel books, so... Damn. I forgot. I don't know diddly squat about modern Marvel. I was trying to sell my, West Coast Avengers about a year ago. And man, I met this one guy. He got so upset. He wanted to buy the West Coast Avengers run that I was selling. And he was really into Jeff the Landshark. And he kept asking me if these books would grade a 9.8. And I kept telling him, man, I don't know. I don't think so. And I was like, trust me, man, these books aren't for you. If you want to grade all these for 9.8, probably don't buy them off me. I don't think they're 9.8s. And before I knew it, he'd bought them. And just because I knew he'd be a living nightmare about them not being 9.8s, I canceled the order. And I took it off for sale. And that guy hounded me. He sent me probably 60 emails about how dare I. But yeah, so I kind of learned, man, don't mess with Jeff the Shark fans. But yeah, I just ended up giving those books to my brother, but it was a little scary. So that was kind of like, I mean, I love what I've seen of the Marvel Rivals game, but there's just some like Marvel people that I don't know, they're kind of intimidating with their fandom. But so I was like really apprehensive to sell after that. But here is Arkham Asylum. Actually, sorry, Arkham Dreams. This is, I think this is probably Sam's last really big project. If I were to guess, I feel like this is the thing he got to do. And it took him years, but he finished it. And I got this nice hardcover, IDW, and it's a very nice looking book. IDW does kind of great reprints. Well, let's crack into this. No surprise signature or anything, unfortunately. That'd have been cool. Kind of leaf through this. A lot of white backgrounds. The Max had so much ink in it, remember? There was just pages that were all black backgrounds. But it's kind of interesting to see this negative white space. That's kind of cool. Interesting. I remember reading issue 1 right after it came out, but like the time gaps in between issues would be like either 2 months or in some cases like almost 2 years. But you know, we had to be patient. I'm pretty sure Sam was having some health troubles, but he pulled this off. And some of these characters, like seeing, I remember one of the first times I ever saw Sam Kieth was on Secret Origins 0, and he drew a really great penguin. So getting to see him draw the penguin again, man, what a treat. But oof, big puffer fish. I got so hungry for sushi the other night, I cracked open a can of a mackerel. And then tonight, because it was bleeding into Friday, Thursday going into Friday, we got the last of the fish fillet special at McDonald's. So man, you know you're hungry for fish when you're like seriously jonesing for a fish fillet. And even though the Lenten holiday's over, they still $3 for a sandwich that's usually like $5 seems like a pretty good deal, too good to pass up. So I got a McDonald's on either side of me. I probably have 10 McDonald's within 5 square miles. So try not to eat there too much, but man, sometimes it is good. So yeah, I haven't had my time with this story. And it doesn't look rushed or anything, which is pretty darn good. Considering, I mean, this is his last big project, and we don't see it falling off at all. I mean, I don't know what the story is. It might be kind of a fever dream, but like, look at this detail, this texture he's getting on the Max's complexion. Look at that Julie Winters skull. Like, yeah, it's... Anyway, I've always been kind of impressed by this, and I have my loose issues in my closet, and I don't know why I never took the time to, like... Once everything had come out, you thought I would have just stopped to read it, but no, life got in the way. And you just kind of lose momentum. But yeah, I got a little time. This is colored by Alex Sinclair, who does all the coloring for Frank Miller these days as well. I never had any problems with the old Oli Optics guy, Steve Olaf. He and Lynn Varley were my favorite colorists. And maybe Joe Chiodo as well. There's your Kelly Jones. Let's look at some of Mr. Jones's textures. That was a little too close. A little too close. Let's see his Julie. Oh, he went nice on the Julie. Miss Winters. It's another Kieth on the left. On the right, I don't know who that is. A couple more Kieths. I mean, the one on the left is, the one on the right is not. A couple more Kieths, which is cool. Very abstract one right here, no less. More that nice, the Max complexion there with the circle pigmentation. Always like that, playing Go Fish. So it's Kieth on the left, Jim Lee on the right. I'm not too big on Jim's interpretation of the Max. A little bit too much like Bane, maybe. That's pretty nice. Whoever drew that's got a clean style. A couple more Kieth. You get a lot of work in here. These are just splash pages, I guess, without the Alex Sinclair. Actually, excuse me, he might be using that colorist, the lady, what was her name? Pat Rowland? Let me see. See how wrong I am. Colors, yeah, Rhonda Pattison. Sorry, I don't know why I said. I don't know why I thought it was Alex Sinclair. Anyway, I'm okay with admitting I'm wrong on that because I just didn't know. Anyway, another artist that I really appreciate that I'm a little behind on his work. I haven't read any of his Batman run. I haven't even read The Court of Owls, and of course I'm talking about Greg Capullo. Huge Greg Capullo fan, especially like his first year on Spawn. I loved his X-Force stuff. But I really haven't enjoyed Capullo as much as I did in a very long time. And I know PGH Zombie looked at this a while ago, and I thought it sounded really cool. I believe Big Elbow likes the writing of Hickman, but I saw some pages of this, and I thought, okay, this is kind of interesting, because Capullo, his style, I guess when Todd's not inking over him, it's not as crazy detailed, and I kind of like the way it's a little stripped down. Could really focus on the compositions, but tries a really solid Wolvie. I don't know. I believe this got pretty mixed reviews, but it was cheap on Amazon. This is one of those books that was sent to me the very next day, and this is a little busy with characters, but you do get to see Omega Red. Omega Red's that small compared to Sabretooth. I mean, what the hell? I know Creed's big, but Omega Red's one of those big Russians. He should be a little bit bigger, I think. I'm sure Capullo had his reasons, but Sabretooth is a mammoth, but come on, Omega Red's... He's a buck, man. So... there's a flashback story or something in here. There's this fight between Wolvie and Sabretooth at one point. This fight right here, I saw a video of. And seemingly Sabretooth is nullified by this, whatever kind of headlight Wolvie used on his motorcycle. Something was in the light that took away from Sabretooth's ability to heal. So he's just battering Wolvie, pummeling him. And Wolvie goes in for a nice little cheap shot, claws in the gut, right into the intestines. And immediately Sabretooth knows. He knows, man, something's got to give. Like, he's waiting to heal. He's just waiting, thinking, all right, man, I'm gonna mend this up. But no, he can't heal. And Wolverine's healing fine, but Sabretooth is bleeding out. Stuck pig. So, yeah, I don't know. I think, like, when you see an artist that you associate with a lot of detail, and like I said, I haven't looked at Capullo in years. Maybe the Batman stuff looks like this, but it doesn't look rushed. It doesn't look like he hurried. It just kind of like these guys that were doing super rendered stuff. I think they think of that as like the 90s style. Guys like Danny Mickey who can't draw a straight line without drawing, 87 cross hatching lines going through it. I think that stuff's just out of style. In my eye, like this Colossus, really nice composition. Sabretooth looks really good in this though. So what I'm saying is, to my eye, this looks really stripped down to the point of looking like it's not quite done. Maybe it just needs a little more shadow. I don't know, but I like it. And for a Wolvie story, I don't think a Wolvie story has to be super dark, but I like it that way. But anyway, so that was like a $13 pickup, something like that. You know how Amazon is, like it's gonna be below cover. So if you're like me and you have no loyalty to an LCS at all anymore, you're really free to just go for the best deal. I do have a comic store I go to for supplies, though. That's cool. Feels nice. Here's some more Sam Kieth. Here's that Punchline cover. I didn't buy this for the longest time because this was from a deal that Sam had with Clover Comics. And whenever I bought from Clover, they didn't do a very good job packaging. So I waited long enough, and I just bought a copy off of someone who had bought from Clover, and really happy with it. So, yeah, I got some Punchline written by Tinian the Fifth, art by Johns. Anyway, we went to Book Off, found this Spawn 9. While I was there was this guy who was selling a bunch of McFarlane art, and he saw me walking around, like, because we were looking at the anime stuff, and I was like, oh, is there more of that in the boxes? And I said, oh yeah, man, there's tons of Youngblood and Brigade and Wildcat Strike Force, and it's like all this stuff he doesn't want to hear is Stormwatch, because I don't know, he was selling like a lot of like good McFarlane stuff, and he's like asking me if there's more in the boxes. Like, all right, man. Anyway, I don't have much stuff left here, but we're kind of doing a flip through. So I tried to show this on Instagram, but you just don't have much time with a 1-minute video, right? I mean, not that much, really. You gotta be fast, and this is where I come to engage with other collectors. Instagram is like I like how Big Elbow does it. Like he does like commercials for his videos to come. Like he'll like show his stuff, but it's fast, set to music, so you don't really learn much. But if you tune in to his YouTube channel, you'll get the skinny, you know. But this is a Judge Dredd Complete Case File 16, and this is all written. Sorry, this phone wants to keep migrating on me. So let's just flip through it a little bit and enjoy this. So the writer is John Wagner, Garth Ennis, and Ellen Grant. Art by Colin McNeil, John Burns. Let me figure out something real quick. Alright, so the solution is there is no solution. We're doing this strictly for the love of good comic flip-throughs, which this is not one, but I'm excited about this book, and I'm compelled to... Let me see. Maybe I just gotta back up a foot. Let's see. I'll do this in real time so you can see what I'm trying to deal with. Get these legs out. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay. Kind of far from the book, but I'm really far from those books, but we got it. We got it. So, do our little flip through, and you'll forgive me for the last few minutes of trying to do this to no avail. So anyway, where were we? We were talking about the artist, Glenn Fabry, Gary Erskine, Simone Colby, or Simon Colubi, Dermot Power, Chris Weston, Jeff Anderson, Jose Casanovas, Peter Doherty, Greg Staples, Dean Ormston, Charlie Allred, Russell Fox, and Sam Kieth. So, I got it for the Kieth, but I'm, you know, they saved Kieth for last anyway, so we will arrive to Kieth, but just like, look at this amazing 2080 artwork, huh? Just love that art house style. Oh, there's the cover image right up there. I'll give you a break from my voice. Get a little closer in. This is the Colubi and Hart story on the starting on the right there. Pretty nice violence right there. Like these greens and pinks, very like Valiant kind of colors. I'm not sure when this stuff came out, but if it's Garth Ennis, he didn't really. Well, I didn't know him before. I didn't know him before Hellblazer, but I know he was writing in the UK, so this stuff could go back to the 80s. But I don't know if Ennis really goes back quite that far. He's a little younger. But if he's just starting out, this could be early 90s for sure. That's cool. Whoa. Look at this thing. They all kind of agree that Judge Tread's gonna have this chin. It's like the one thing that they all agree on. Pretty cool. This book wasn't expensive. I bet on a really good day, at a good like comic sale or something, I bet this book's like in a $5 or $7 box. I don't see why not. Got this guy right here. He's what'd they call him? He's they're riffing on Edward Scissorhands, but it's Teddy Chopamitz. Teddy Chopamitz. So he doesn't mean harm, but he's got deadly blades for fingers. There he is, disemboweling his landlord. And Dredd hears about Teddy Chopamitz, and he's like, "Oh hell no, I am the law." You know, but like, that's one thing. It's like when you're talking about like Tim Burton, they're all these kind of like tragic heroes. Even Jack Skellington, he thinks he's doing good. So Teddy Chopamitz, you want to tussle with the judge? Shoot. Okay, you know, suddenly like innocent little Teddy Chopamitz isn't looking quite such the gothic angel. Nope, rejected. So that'll teach him. That'll teach Teddy. What do they do? Oh, Jesus. Did he take off his own head? Do do bladeth. Do. Do de bladeth. Do de bladeth. Yeah, maybe he... Well, shoot, I don't know. Something between that panel and that panel. Something... I don't know. Read between the lines. Teddy Chopamitz is decapitated. Off with his head, man. Yeah, this looks like the Fabry to me, maybe. That looks like Fabry. Good old Glenn Fabry. Oh. We aren't skipping cool pages, man. Oh. These pages are kind of thick. They just feel like double pages. Beautiful. This looks like some, like that Arthur Sadum, like back in the days of Heavy Metal magazine. Whoa. I know what I'm dreaming about tonight. Teddy Chopamitz. Playing poker with Teddy Chopamitz. On repeat. It's my reoccurring dream. Whoa. That's a solid looking judge. So he's got a mustache. This is almost like... kind of reminds me like a little bit of some of the fights in Ronin. is a solid dread right there. Solid. Oof. Nice. Very dynamic with the lines coming at you. Alright, let's wrap this video up. Getting tired. It's all worth it though. I'm sure you're getting tired. If you're here at the 45-minute mark of flipping through some nice books, thank you. Started a new story here. Who might this be? Got your Garth Ennis. Can't read that. Let's see, is it the lens? What's going on? I don't know. Can't read it though. Oh well. When technology fails you. Truck in hell. Alright, come on. This is nice stuff though. This looks like very Vertigo. This could easily be like a DC Vertigo book from the 90s. I got a bolt in my tire. When you work around industrial areas, you get a flat tire like once a month, just about. And they're always forever doing roofing at my apartments. And after a hard day, those guys aren't too careful with their carpenter nails. So this one right here, this is some of the nicest art in here. I don't even know who did this one. I tell you this though, it's nice. Let me zoom out a little bit maybe. Nope. Really nice art. Almost like Ashley Wood looking robots in a way. Alright. Wow. Look at this stuff right here. Wow, that's cool. Some cool circuitry. Tendrils or what have you. Oh, this looks like, what's his name? Blackheart from Marvel Comics. Whoa, son of a gun. Look at, that is sick. Wow, that's cool, man. Look at, just look at that. It's not, darn, I wish I knew who this was. Raptor. Oh, they're doing it in parts too, so we're gonna get a lot of this one. This might even be a three-parter. Whoa, that's cool. Look at that wheel, man. Big old wheel. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Oof. You gotta love some British comics. Guy here. Whoa. Jack. You just don't get sound effects like you used to in comics, I've noticed. Really minimalized the art of sound effects. Raptor Part 3. And they're still not telling us who this is. Well, we're running out of guys that we read that worked on this, so it's got to be one of the ones we said. Beautiful colors. What an escape book this is, man. That's really good sci-fi when you just totally forget where you're at, what you're doing. Just love this character. She's cool. Judge Carter, maybe? Heavy book, though. You gonna tell us who did this amazing book? Still don't know. I'm guessing it's Ellen Grant writing this. I'm picking up Ellen Grant vibes just from the writing. I'll skip any of this. Nice blues on this. There's a lot of nice color blue on this. This book just celebrates the color blue and the color yellow to the full extent. Whoa. There he is again. Man, this Raptor thing, it's a big part of the book. If you aren't into Raptor and you buy this, man, you're pretty mad. But if you're loving Raptor like I am, then you're just Raptor. The lettering is really small, but he's made the trap. All units open fire. He's made the trap, like he's deciphered what it is. He's made, I don't know. Judge talks like almost like in legal terms. He's like a legal commando, a field officer, but he also speaks from a very formal book, a very formal code. Dude, this guy, man. Coolness. Whoever worked on this, this is like a couple years' work. Whoever drew it. This was not an overnighter, man. This was years of someone's life. Getting up, having breakfast, drawing, painting for 6 hours, having lunch, drawing, painting for 8 hours, having dinner, drawing, painting for 6 hours, going to sleep and doing it again. I don't know, it's probably like a 34-hour day, but look at this. Raptor Part 7. This thing's a son of a biatch. How are you supposed to kill this thing, man? The sentence is death. That's how you kill it. Screaming. Agony. And it makes the news. Yeah. Hurry it up. No saying what's happening down. Oh, ye of little faith. Huh. Now he's like a holy man. God darn. Okay, who effing did the Raptor story? Raptor story. So I gotta know. That was good. That was some of the nicest art I've seen in a while. It's not Adler. He's the Walking Dead artist. Maybe Dean Ormston? Could be Russell Fox. I don't know. It's outstanding, though. Outstanding. Real standout artwork there. I'd like to see more of that guy's. What he draws, what he paints. Anyway. Oof. That's pretty good, too. Yeah, he's kind of being a biblical man. He's fighting hell demons. Sort of a priest, this Judge Dredd. Not gonna lie. He's kind of a holy priest. He's fighting off some kind of goat goblin. Oh, jeez. He walks in on some Satanism. This guy cut off his hand, cut off his wiener, and now he wants to pick a fight. Satan, anti-grud, hear my prayer, guide my aim. Oh, Jesus. A real douchebag fanatic. This is like out of 7. Just a room full of heads. Alright. So who did this? They're not... Yeah, they're not very forthcoming, guys. You figure it out on your own. The good people at Judge Dredd have a real screw you attitude about being forthcoming on who the art's by. Deal with it, that's who drew it. Very flat, not a lot of perspective in this guy's style. Very, almost like a Keith Giffen. But Keith Giffen, he makes up for it in other ways. Alright. The inking is nice. I like the inking on the hair right there. But, you know, anything after that Raptar story was going to be a little light. From Eagle Comics. Alright. Finally, we have Sam Kieth. What is the deal with Sam Kieth in this book? Alright. Yeah, this guy right here is... I don't know. Maybe he's a good storyteller. Maybe his clarity on the panel to panel, but at a glance, he it's just okay. Not gonna lie. There's a Sam Kieth story. We'll go panel by panel because this is the meat and potatoes of it, so we're not gonna rush. I was a teenage mutant ninja priest killer. Oh, jeez, after the clergy again. That's pretty. The motorcycle. Alright. I'm digging this. Look at that. Sam's a great little pick-me-up right now. Nice. Kind of like an Art Crumb kind of thing with the big boots. Coolness. Whoa. So bright. Look at these stairs. Now there's your Splinter character. Splinter the Rat. It's pretty tough. He says, I was that child, and now I return for revenge. But I never dropped any child. Liar. You made me a monster. Now you're gonna die for it. Hold it, creep. There's old Dredgy. Old Dredgy saying, not on my watch. Cool turtle, man. Wow. Wow, pretty cool. Pretty cool Judge Dredd by Sam Keith. Alright. And one more special message to go, and then I'm done and I can go home. So this is something I used to see at FYE for your entertainment back when we still had record stores. We still got record stores. They're just like inside of like bookstores now. But I grew up around a Tower Records. I loved having record stores. I never stole from them. A lot of kids I know tried to steal from the record store, but I always bought my CDs. But I never bought this adult coloring book, Spawn. This came out about 2013 or so. I remember going to Anaheim on Harbor Boulevard with my brother to FYE. Formerly, what was FYE? Was that a Virgin Megastore? Or not a Tower? Can't even remember, man. That's how long it's been. Some kind of a record store. I can't remember what it was, though. But, so this is a Spawn coloring book. So you basically get all the joy of, like, black and white Todd Mcfarlane art on good paper. And all these images appear on the right side, because the left side is reserved for, like, your colors to wash through. So they give you a little barrier. But, you know, Spawn 1, which we never really got to see this way because it was painted, so we didn't get to see the lines on a lot of this stuff. A really nice lighting there by Todd. Oh, this is a splash page from issue 1. A horizontal splash page. The first time we get a really good look at the whole suit. And we're like, what's this all about? This guy's talking about how he's been deceived and burnt alive. Why is he dressed up in tights? What's all that about? Walking Dead cover. Some really nice textures by Todd. I've been trying to reclaim a lot of my my McFarlane artwork that I like it away from me. So you can color these if you like, but I mean, you got to be pretty good. I always like that image. I've tried to draw this. This is a position I've always tried to draw. The downward thrust while flying through the air towards the viewer. Very difficult. Todd pulls it off, but it's a very difficult angle to draw. Oh, I love that. Post-battering. That's great. The old Savage Dragon cover swipe. And like you get close and there's just crazy detail. Like how would you even color some of this stuff? I guess you just have to kind of go for it and forgive yourself if it looks dumb. That's all you can really do. And keep going. Is that overt kill? Originally overkill, but became overt. Copyright reasons. Kind of wonder what Capullo eking over at McFarlane would look like. Really nice Salmon Twitch page. And I mean, you just get close. It just gets better the closer you get to. I mean, that's just the kind of art you're talking with. Oh. Low quality video, guys. Low quality today. We were on Sam and Twitch. Yep. Whoa. See, I really wanted this coloring book, but I never bought it. I don't know why. I think I was really into toy collecting at the time. I was really getting away from comics, and I was much more into collecting toys, which I still do. Spawn 3 or 4. 3, I guess. 4 is the Violator cover. That is not male bullshit. Oh, there's issue 4. That would be fun to color. You might even want to photocopy that and take a stab at it. Said issue 5 is the Billy Kincaid. So this is like the overkill issue, maybe like 6 or 7. Okay. You want to do some logo play? Every month the logo looked different, so a lot of cool color combinations. Oh, I just bought this one. This is like issue 22 or 23. Just a big, fat, juicy McFarlane cover. Some nastiness from the Violator. Oh, that's cool. Look at these lines, man. Who would have thought to draw that way? Todd keeps it detailed too. He doesn't really. The only thing is he's gotten away from the cartoony stuff. He seems more into realism. I don't know if he'd draw a silly looking hand like that. He seems much more influenced by reality than cartoons. But you know, that's just an evolution for him. Anyway, let's wrap it up. We're way overdue. 316 cover swipe with Tremor. More Violator nastiness. Oh, you talk about sound effects. Oh, that's freaking sick. So they got that like that big artist gallery Spawn book where you can like actually see high res stuff of the inks. But you know, that's cool too. But you also do get all the imperfections and all the whiteout. I mean, that's like I said, that's cool too. But if you want to color stuff, you want kind of a polished looking art. Master of drawing cool skulls, man. Almost done, almost done. This is my therapy. We had one of our cats just get spayed. Our little Momo. After the procedure, she almost went 3 days and 3 nights before she had a little bowel movement, and she finally did. And we were so scared because, you know, you kind of reached the 4th day. It took her 2 days before she could even tinkle, and then like finally she made a number 2. So thank God. We had her a little over a year, her and her sister. But yeah, it was a scare. That's a nice page, man. Dynamic is not even the word. Look at that. Burning some magic right there. Here's that more realistic style I was talking about. It's kind of evolved to, like, look at those hands. They're much more like real fingers than those pudgy sausages we saw. Coins. More overkill, maybe. Oh, that's a nice cover.